Welcome back to Jersey Matters. So how much snow are we going to get this winter? Here's our meteorologist, Nor'easter Nick, with his winter weather forecast.
The leaves on the trees have finally started to transition into bright, beautiful colors, and the feel of crisp air has arrived. Wow, what an amazing day. It's really hard to wrap your head around the idea that winter is literally right around the corner. That's right, my friends. I have broken out the special snow tie bow tie, which it's all right. Some of you can admit that you were hoping that I would lose it over the past couple months, but we are here to discuss the annual long-range winter forecast, and this marks a milestone in my career, a decade of providing local weather for your backyard. And I got to tell you, each and every year I get more pumped up, more enthusiastic, and more excited to tell you what's coming our way and what Mother Nature is going to deliver. Now, I know there are a lot of questions. Is it going to be warm? Is it going to be cold? Do I need the shovels, or can I hang on to the sandals and the short sleeves and all that stuff? I wish I could give you a plain, simple answer, and look, I could, but there's no fun in that for me. I want you guys to understand the why behind the what. Now, in order to do that, I think we're gonna need a little bit of a different scene, don't you think? Yeah, let's go. Okay. I think we're in a much better spot right now to talk about this. And the first item on our agenda, I think even the weather novice out there understands that our patterns across the entire world are dictated by what's going on in the oceans. And there are three areas that I like to pick out specifically: the El Nino Southern Oscillation, the Pacific Decadal Oscillation, and the Indian Ocean Dipole. These three work together in tandem to ultimately bring us the weather conditions that we will see in a given season. This year, we are not looking at a La Nina or El Nino, but rather a neutral phase, and that is going to have implications with our weather pattern. The thing I like to do is look back at past years and try to figure out, line up certain aspects of where we are right now and compare them. 2014 and 15 showed a very similar sea surface temperature pattern. Actually, you can throw 2013-14 in there as well. You blend it together, and that year was active. It was snowy for our region, and I think we are going to go ultimately in that direction. My expected pattern this year, well, I think that polar jet that's going to fly right out of Canada into the eastern third of the United States and continuously supply us with that cold air. Of course, if you're looking for snow, you need moisture. We should have an active subtropical jet coming into the southwest into our neck of the woods, and there will likely be plenty, copious amounts of moisture. You marry them together, the cold and the active precip pattern, and you get an active snow pattern. I'm going to show you that in just a second. Something else we got to look at is the North Atlantic Oscillation, the NAO, and a lot of you know this as the Greenland block. When it's in its negative phase, high pressure sets up over Greenland. It buckles the jet stream back towards the continental United States, and everybody in New Jersey and the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic gets socked with the cold air, and then you get that active subtropical jet supplying the moisture, and that's where you get your storms to ultimately develop. The Pacific North American pattern is something that could make or break our forecast. When it's in the negative phase, this can do some damage. It did it last year. You put high pressure down off the southeast, you get that southeast ridge, and all the cold gets pushed back towards the west. I think there's about a 15 to 20% chance of that happening. I am not leaning in that direction at all. I do think it's going to be colder and snowier than last year. A good indication is the amount of snow cover in North America. Everywhere you see this mustard color shows you where the current snow coverage is, and it's seeping down into the continental United States, and we are above average as indicated by that blue in many spots. I don't think it's an extremely cold winter. I think we're around average with the extreme cold centered over the Great Lakes. We'll probably see average temperatures to slightly below average by about a half a degree or a degree. The precipitation is definitely going to be above average. All the wet weather from Minneapolis to Chicago into New York, and that includes all of us in New Jersey as well. So, yeah, I know everybody wants to know about the snow outlook. From December to January, I think your snowiest month is probably mid-January to mid-February. 150% above average throughout the Great Lakes, 125% above or of average for our area, meaning you'll probably get about 5 to 10 inches more snow than you would on an average year. So how do we get the snow? There's a few different storm tracks that we look at. The Clippers, these are quick moving storms. They come out of Alberta cross over the Ohio Valley, then eject themselves out over the East Coast. And these are light events, 1 to 4 inches, no big issue. Storm track number 2, we call it a Miller B, and these present a little bit more of an issue. They are slower moving. They can bring some big snow, but the forecast is extremely complicated as they have to transition and phase together with multiple layers of the jet stream. And those are the trickiest forecasts that we could possibly think of in the winter season. And finally, my favorite, this is where you get your stronger nor'easters, where you have the Gulf moisture down to the south, and that forms together in this area low pressure, and you get the bombogenesis, your classic nor'easter, and that brings snow, and it also unfortunately brings coastal flooding our way. So that's one aspect of the forecast that we always have to look at here. So our forecast snow, 40 plus inches north and west, say High Bridge and Netcong, Vernon, 34 to 38 just west of the city. Sayreville, 32 to 36. Then Trenton over to Freehold, we're probably looking at 24 to 30 inches of snow. And then for central and south Jersey, clearly, as you enter a slightly warmer environment, we will see things get a little bit less snowy. So temperatures near average this winter season. We're looking at a cold and active January, and we'll have several light events, probably 2 to 4 inch events, and 2 to 3 larger events coming our way. Now, can this all break apart? Yeah, absolutely. Any long-range forecast needs to be taken with a very tiny grain of salt. You could get that southeast ridge to build back, but like I was saying, I have about a 15 to 20% chance of that happening. I am rather confident that we will see more cold and snow than what we saw last year. So stay connected throughout the entirety of the winter season. We'll have you updated right here at the New Jersey News Network. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Nor'easter Nick.